Welcome to the Going In Show, a place where we discuss subject matter most are scared to touch.
Yeah, a platform where we discuss cultural and race relations from a hip-hop perspective.
I'm an independent recording artist, Raw Proof.
And I'm Pal Shadows, the general of the House of Hip Step.
This is the Going In Show.
So let's go in, yo.
Kick down the door.
Yo, Proof, I think it's about time we do a show on race and cultural relations, you know?
Sounds kind of dangerous.
Yeah, but we gotta stay dangerous, you feel me? Get it together, we about to go in. Get it together, we about to go in. Get it together, we about to go in. Raw Proof, Pal Shadow, show them how we can win. Get it together, we about to go in. Get it together, we about to go in. Get it together, we about to go in. Raw Proof, Pal Shadows, we about to begin.
Welcome to the Going In Show for another episode. And today we are going to talk about the media. But first, let me say what's up to my co-host, Pal Shadows, and ask him, how you doing, brother?
Peace. Man, I'm good, you know what I'm saying? I'm 100, you know?
What you been up to, man? Musically, you know this is a hip hop show.
Yeah, man. You know they say I ain't country enough, right?
What you mean?
Like, you know.
You from Tennessee. I mean, you've been around, but you ain't country enough?
Yeah, man. They say that's what they say about me. They say I ain't country enough, you know, and so I had to drop a song about it. So I released a new song that dropped on everywhere today, you know what I'm saying? So you can check it out. It's called, it's under Dragon Park Cartel, my new crew that I've been rocking with, and the name of the song is called Country Enough.
All right.
Because they say I ain't country enough, man, so I guess, you know, I don't know. You just gotta check out the song and see how I feel about that accusation.
Definitely check it out. I heard it. I think it's spectacular. So please tune your ears in, whatever streaming platform you prefer, and look up Dragon Park Cartel, Country Enough. Who
Appreciate
produced that joint, dog?
Yo, that was produced by my man Core. I'd like to give him a big, strong shout out. Salute to you, Core. My man, Core Mega.
That's what's up. There's some harmonization on the song too. I was like, who'd you recruit for that? He's like, nah, that was me. I was like,
nah, that was
damn.
your boy. That was your fam, Pal Shadow, singing on the hook.
I guess
right
you might be country enough. I don't know.
They say I ain't though.
But yeah, man.
What you been up to?
Nah, nothing, man. I've been working on mastering my album, trying to DIY it, you know, trying to figure out how to master music. And so I purchased the program and messing with all these different plugins and going back, checking the mixes, trying to perfect everything to the best of my capabilities. So really just the technical stuff.
Right, no doubt. So
yeah.
Is that joint, How I Remember You, is that gonna be on there?
Yes.
Sick.
Yes.
That's a dope joint.
It is.
Raw Proof and Pal Shadows joint.
And it sounds
coming on his album.
Let's get into the world today, pal, because we are men in this world, but I like to think that we're not of this world because, you know, it's the mind, body, and soul. We definitely put the emphasis on soul and soul perspective and stuff like that. But back, you know, in this world, somebody, famous actor Denzel Washington, he said something that stuck with me many years ago, about 4 years ago, actually, during the pandemic. He said, if you don't read the newspaper, then you are uninformed. But if you do read the newspaper, you are misinformed. He said, how crazy is that? You know, verbatim, or not verbatim, but in other words, he was saying, he was talking to the press, and he said, that gives you a very difficult job, doesn't it? He said, now it's your job to be honest and report the news. But he said, nowadays, he said, it seems like everybody just wants to be first. They just want to be the first person to report on a story, whether they got the facts right or not. They just want to be first. And he said, what is the long-term effects of too much data, too much information, you know? And that just kind of stuck with me for a while. I was like, wow, I had to go back and watch that clip again, since today's topic is about the media, and it is about America, and it is about racial issues, racism specifically, And one thing that I definitely realized was that there's a correlation with how the news media promotes and prioritizes negative messages, controversy, and the same thing with the entertainment media and how they seem to promote and prioritize the music, especially in hip hop, with the messages that have more, ones of grandeur or, illegal activity and just more negative type stuff instead of promoting the stuff that's super artistic and skillful, artful, and might even have a positive message to it,
Yeah, and since we're talking about, hip hop, which is a Black and indigenous dominated culture, art form rather, even though it welcomes all people and all people participate, it's like those messages are for whatever reason, many reasons I should say, geared specifically toward the Black and indigenous community. In terms of the violence, it's aimed towards, that community. The negativity is aimed at that. You have these individuals, different artists, are the ones that are perpetuating that image and that stereotype within hip hop. And then the media, okay, so that's the entertainment industry. This is to your point. Then the media is doing the same thing. They're and I got some statistics I'll read later, but they're doing a similar thing. They're whenever they show Black or brown or indigenous people in the media, a lot of times these negative stereotypes are enforced, and that's an unfortunate fact. So
true. Let me just add to that. Watch your local news very carefully. 8 times out of 10, the newscaster is going to speak to somebody that they know they sound more intelligent than. So they might be in a community and pick somebody that just says the most ridiculous or simple, comments. I mean, how many times have we seen on social media where somebody spoke on news media on TV and just said something ridiculous? Next thing you know, there's 20 remixes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
I truly believe that's on purpose a lot of times, man.
They're trying to get views. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, what sells? What's gonna sell? These colorful characters talking crazy. And I think if you're on the scene, you just gotta pick somebody. I'm not picking the boring person that's going, well, yeah, I'm picking the colorful character. Let me talk to you. I think that could have something to do with it. But I do know the point of what you're saying, and a lot of people make that point. So is it on purpose? Do they intentionally want to make these people kind of play up to the stereotypes that they tend to perpetuate, or not? You know what I mean? It's a good question.
And I mean, it could just be a personal thing where, newscasters are kind of like local celebrities. So it's like, if you pick a critical thinker and you ask them a question and they respond back basically asking you a question, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to appear like you're not doing your job. So, I mean, I'm not saying that race is necessarily involved with the people they pick, but I'm just saying, like, what I am saying is that there's many different moving pieces to this thing that we call news media. And that's just one small piece there.
There are a lot of working pieces to that. And I think that a lot of times it's easy for us to generalize a situation and say, no, it's this way. Are there situations, rather, where the media does perpetuate stereotypes of Black and indigenous people or other communities as well? And is this a real phenomenon, or is this something that's in people's minds? I think we should dig into that, a little bit deeper in this episode.
I do think that, or I will say for sure, that more people are not watching the news media. It seems like the more people I talk to, including myself, people that are struggling with mental health or just trying to stay positive, they're like, you know what, I don't even watch the news, on purpose, because it's just so much negativity.
And that brings me, that brings to mind another thing I wanted to bring up about that is, what are the forms of media? Because when we say media, there's many forms of media. You know what I'm saying? You got the underground media and the mainstream media as well.
Social media, news media, entertainment media. We'll be right back after this break.
What's up, guys? Logan Crowell here. I'm the founder of Helping Our Music Evolve, aka Home. We are Nashville's premier music hub. What that means is that you can come here, you can use the studios, you can meet other collaborators, you can learn about the biz, and you can get your music heard by industry professionals who can help you take it to the next level. So check us out, homeformusic.org. Peace.
I still feel like, Proof, honestly, that people just don't want to address racism really head on. You know what I mean? I feel like people are still very uncomfortable talking about racism. I feel like when you bring it up, especially as a black, and it's just from my perspective, that's the whole purpose of the show, for us to present our perspectives. You know, from a black and indigenous man's perspective, I feel like a lot of times when I bring up race around my quote-unquote white and friends of European descent or what have you, you know, we don't like those terms, black, white. I feel like, you know, a lot of times and I know for a fact
They want to sidestep.
that it's made some of them uncomfortable. There's been some issues where there's been some arguments have come, like where people have gotten, and it wasn't that they don't know it. They don't know what I'm saying to be true. It's just the guilt, you know, began to overwhelm them. Or they didn't know how to take that. They were so uncomfortable that it made them respond in a way that was like, hey man, hey, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think this show, the Going In show, is so important, what we do here. But I wanted to, since we're talking about racism and we keep bringing that word up, and since that's a big part of our platform, I wanted to define racism with you and with the people watching.
Yeah, let's go.
And racism, according to the dictionary, today's dictionary says, is defined as prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. The belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to another. Now, that's two different definitions, and they both complement one another. Does the media portray racism worse than it really is? And I think the question here, according to the definition of racism, by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people based on their membership in a particular group, are we talking about racism as an individual, racism against the community, or are we talking about are we talking about racism perpetuated by an individual, racism perpetuated by a group of people, or by an institution, which would be systemically?
If the news media, you know, wanted to show something that happened, like somebody said something, but take it out of context, like, do they take stories out of context just to promote it because they know if it's race, you know, I think there's a term called race baiting, you know, where it's like people will specifically say something that they know will trigger somebody in order to make, you know, the discussion go that way.
Yeah, they call like people like Indisputable with Dr. Richie. I see in the comments all the time, they call him a race baiter. They call Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman race baiters. And, you know, I don't think that that's fair. You know, and you know, does the media portray racism overly as bad or worse than it is? You know, I think that racism is as bad. I think that, let me answer that question head on, Proof. No, they don't. Racism is much worse than the media portrays it, in my opinion. I think that because of what I mentioned earlier, that we still as a society are afraid to talk about race and afraid to sit down and have these hard, tough, they're not really tough. They're just conversations. Yeah, I'm gonna take the tough off. I think that, let's look at the Asian hate crime bill, right, for instance. The reason that exists is because racism does exist in America. Racism against Asians exists in America.
Okay, perfect example.
That's why we have the Asian crime bill, because it doesn't matter if it's race against blacks, whites,
Right.
Latinos, Asians are people in America.
But how many crimes against Asians do you personally know? My friend from the Philippines, you know, she was concerned about that. She's like, is it true that, you know, people in America are doing, because they saw on the news where something happened in California where somebody threw acid, some type of acid at someone's face, which is super horrible. I mean, that's
terrible.
That's almost just as bad as spitting. That's probably worse than spitting in someone's face. But either way, we're not here to judge like levels of
maybe they're introducing
evilness.
This just came to me. Maybe they're introducing that Asian crime bill first so that then they can come and help the black people first. Because, you know, black people in this country, we still don't have a hate crime bill. We still don't have a hate crime bill against us. With all the police brutality, with all of the lynchings and the civil rights issues we've had, you would think there would be just a anti-hate crime bill specifically for black people, but the Asians got it first. And I think that's because if they gave one to black people, I think there would be so much opposition from the right. Because for whatever reason, whenever you try to, you know, specifically aim something to help the black and indigenous community, some people, not all people, because we don't generalize on this show, but some people from the right lose it. So, but the Asians, for whatever reason, they don't lose it. So maybe they're easing it on in, and maybe that's hope for us to get a bill in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, man. My
wishful thinking. My
critical thinking is that a lot of times these laws are made because somebody, and I think it's usually somebody's wife, is in the background, and she's like, you know what? I really, really would like for these roads to be fixed, you know, these potholes on these roads, because I drive here when I go to the surplus store every Saturday. So instead of fixing these roads that we know need to be fixed, we see the same road that's been paved once already in the 2 years get fixed all over again. You know, I truly think it's people in positions of power that, I mean, of course, we know they have control. The people are supposed to be the source of the power and the decisions that are made, and, you know, voting and everything. But I truly think a lot of these smaller bills that they may be advertised at 2 o'clock in the morning, I think somebody that knows somebody is really pushing for that and whispering in someone's ear, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. Maybe it's somebody whispering in those guys downtown, those white supremacists that have been marching downtown Nashville. Is somebody putting them up to that? Because they've been down there every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, my whole thing about them was I really, you know, they were spewing stuff at these little kids, these black and indigenous youth that were out there. I think the guys that were drumming or whatever, they were, you know, spewing hate toward them.
They were on their way home, yeah.
Which is a cowardly thing to do. But, you know, well, here's what I wanted to say about that. I don't think black and indigenous people should be in an uproar or go down there and confront those people, because I think that's something that they want to see. They want to see a race war or race riot or something like that. I challenge many of the progressive white organizations that's out there that stand in solidarity with black people to go down there and make their presence known. I mean, the organizations that address these types of things, because I think that will have a greater impact on them to say, hey, we as the greater white society, you know, that's intelligent and have sense, we don't agree with the negativity that you're spewing toward these black and indigenous people. And I think that would be a more powerful statement.
Yes, because I totally think that's a great idea. They do not represent the majority of us so-called white folks. So yeah, somebody needs to go down there and voice and use
make
their
that
voice.
Statement, use that voice, you know, perhaps, or not. You know, we're not judging either way, but
we'll be right back after this break.
The Fringe Radio Show on 103.7 FM on the west side and 107.1 FM in other parts of Nashville. This is Al D and E.T. Got Soul. Producers and MCs themselves, they alternate every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. and have been doing so for 10 years now. Bringing you authentic hip-hop artists that put the art form and the culture first. If you have some fire that you're trying to spread, send your track to the emails displayed on the screen. Sponsored by the Nashville Fringe Festival.
My conclusion here is that the people who govern use the media to communicate with the masses, obviously. They prioritize and promote messages of fear and controversy. I advise you guys to be more God-like. And you know, just how it says in all these holy books, you know, God judges everybody individually by their deeds and what they do here on this planet Earth. I advise you to judge each circumstance and incident fact by fact, play by play. If you do not have any practical events to draw upon to guide your judgment, then maybe you should just keep living life. Experience different parts of society before you spew these closed-minded opinions. If you are rich, spend time with the poor. If you are poor, find some way to spend time with the rich. You see, some of y'all, a lot of folks are prejudiced to one degree or another. You prefer to be around people that look like you, sound like you, and share the same opinions. You never gain new knowledge that way. That's lazy, actually. I truly feel like that's lazy, straight up and down, because it takes more effort to judge everybody on an individual basis. In order to do this efficiently, you need to eliminate any stereotypes or preconceived notions you might have. If you want to travel to Africa, but you can't afford it, talk to somebody from Nigeria. China, talk to somebody Chinese. I understand certain concepts are extreme or radical or just plain stupid these days. I understand not wanting to entertain confusion. These are tools of the most evil. But as my co-host once said, we all live in the same nation. We are all Americans. Some of us are nationalists, and that's a problem. But some of us are patriots, and some of us are just grateful or learning how to be grateful. But we must work and live together and respect one another. With that being said, I just want to give my shout out real quick to Home, helping our music evolve at 615 Main Street, homeformusic.org. Shout out to my man E.T., who just signed with Orchard, a subsidiary of Sony Music. And shout out to Mike Quinones for doing all my design work on all my projects.
Home, because this is the playground.
Yeah.
We playing with sound. We ain't playing. Shout out to Home. Shout out to Al D and E.T., Al D Words and E.T. We have that song Systemic Flu, which addresses systemic racism, which I think is a big issue surrounding racism in the media. And a strong special shout out to my sister Aquanetta, Quinn, man, and G. Quinn, special shout out to you, baby. Love y'all, my whole Chattanooga fam.
That's what's up. And yo, this is Jaleel, 24 hours.
Yeah, it's Jaleel. Hey, look, another 24, time I can't waste. Yeah, I've been going hard, locked in my own race. I'm sticking to the script, keep up my own pace. If they don't love you now, see how they feel when you in first place. Hey, run the play, I'm laced up till my clock stop. My plug on my line, we got motion like a hot spot. In and out the stool, yeah, I've been writing, picking beat drops. I'm loyal to the grind, like I'm working for the top spot. Top notch, switching to the gear. I can't stop, won't stop. Feeling like I'm Diddy in my tank top. I'm sticking to my business, I ain't stressing by the name drop. Building up my brand, take my crown when my name pop. I'm just rambling, thoughts keep scrambling. Cautious round the holes, I know effects can be damaging. Shoebox full of ones, yeah, I call it safe handling. Whipped it out the mud, now this money what I'm standing in. Got my first check when I heard mama panicking. My brother did too, that's my dog who I'm standing with. YOLO still the motto on my life, never chancing it. I know I'm supposed to make it, that's the only way I'm planning it. Took a lot of shit, I had to show him I'm the man again. Busy with them tools, what you know about that handyman. Came up with that hammer, I've been working with my steady hand. Put my homie on, I can't do that for every man. Ready like Lil Caesar, king is my demeanor. Old hoes in the past, I ain't waving if I see her. I'm on some new shit, plus it's gas like amnesia. My tent running up, but I ain't coming with a fever. I'm plotting on some moves, a black card from a Visa. Another shopping spree, I turned shawty to a diva. She know I got potential, so she blowing me for leisure. Paint my name on the walls, worth more than Mona Lisa. Damn, I need a breather. I'm writing too much fire like my name right in ether. I'm on CEO, I need some for the preacher. And Buddy didn't know me till I made him a believer. Yeah, another 24, time I can't waste. Yeah, I've been going hard, locked in my own race. I'm sticking to the script, keep up my own pace. If they don't love you now, see how they feel when you in first place. Blow then catch your first case. Can go the worst way. Fuck that fake love, I need the real to keep my soul awake. Another 24, ain't just sweet, I got my pole today. I keep it on the low, I just told you what I'm on today. Let's rap.
Let's rap. Yeah, it's Shalel.